Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into the weeds on a specific strategy. It's a proposal from the ANFET Media Network directed at the Organization of Eritrean Unity, the OEU.
Right. And it's not just talk. It's presented as a detailed blueprint, almost an organizational plan for, well, coordination and unity.
And the context here is pretty stark, isn't it?
Extremely. The source material makes it very clear. This whole thing is a response to what they're calling the looming threat of a war of aggression by the Ethiopian government. It's positioned as urgent, absolutely necessary.
So ANFET's message is basically time to build a collective shield against external threats.
Exactly. Stop the internal debates, focus outwards. That's the core message.
Okay, so our job today is to unpack that specific roadmap ANFET laid out. We want to understand the organizational side, the intellectual framework they propose for the OEU's mobilization.
Right. How do you make sure it's unified? How do you make it effective, comprehensive?
And it seems the OEU already took a step. They called a seminar for October 18th, 2025.
Yes, and ANFET acknowledges that. They call it an act of foresight and responsibility. That seminar is meant to launch this proposed joint task force.
So the seminar is the starting line.
It is, but ANFET's point is you need more than just a starting line. You need a shared direction, a foundation, what they call an intellectual anchor for any joint political actions.
Okay, let's get into that anchor. What's the core recommendation ANFET made, the sort of non-negotiable piece?
Well, the big one, the central proposal, is for the OEU to formally adopt an existing declaration, specifically the one from the Eritrean political forces, the EPF.
Adopt the EPF declaration.
Yeah.
As the foundational platform for this new joint task force.
Precisely. ANFET literally calls it the essential organizational and intellectual anchor. That's the bedrock the whole effort needs to be built on, according to them.
Now that's interesting politically, because as our sources note, there are other declarations out there. OU has its own, YECAL has contributed ideas, so why push specifically for the EPFs?
NNF's reasoning, based on the sources, seems purely strategic, almost like a military calculation rather than, say, a branding one.
Okay.
They looked at the available documents and decided the EPF declaration was, and I quote, the most comprehensive and effective text for dealing with this specific crisis right now.
So it's about effectiveness, not authorship.
Exactly. They argue for picking the strongest tool available, basically, regardless of whose name is on it.
But doesn't that potentially put the OEU in an awkward spot? Like they're following another group's lead that requires some political swallowing of pride, maybe.
It does, definitely. And ANFET actually addresses that directly. It's listed as the fifth strategic benefit of adopting the EPF text.
Oh, really? What do they call it?
Demonstrating humility and maturity. The argument is that rallying around the best existing ideas, no matter where they came from, signals that national need trumps organizational ego.
And that signal itself becomes a political asset. Maturity.
A powerful statement, yeah. Especially in a crisis.
Okay, so humility and maturity, that's one benefit. You mentioned speed earlier, facing that looming threat. Acceleration must be another key reason.
Absolutely. That's benefit number 2. Using an existing solid declaration means the task force can bypass prolonged debates over drafting new texts.
Right. Avoid getting bogged down in committee meetings about wording when time is critical.
Exactly. You know how it goes. Put different groups in a room to write something from scratch under pressure. You could lose weeks. Adopting the EPF platform means they can mobilize much, much faster.
And it tackles that core problem of mixed messages, doesn't it? Unity.
That's benefit number 1, strengthening unity and messaging. ANFET warns against fragmentation, duplication, or mixed messaging. They see those as potential disasters.
So one platform means everyone involved can speak with one voice.
Which is critical, especially when you're trying to engage internationally. Mixed signals just don't work. They can actually be harmful.
Okay, let's talk tangible results. Benefit number 3, highlights leveraging existing momentum. This EPF declaration isn't just sitting on a shelf, is it?
No, not at all. It's actively connected to a livechange.org petition.
Oh, okay.
And that petition is reportedly gathering support across communities. It's already mobilizing a wide and diverse audience.
So the task force wouldn't be starting from zero in terms of public engagement.
Right. It gets instant traction, a built-in audience, existing channels for mobilization. That saves huge amounts of time and resources.
So let's recap the benefits. Unity of message, speed of formation, leveraging existing support, and the fourth one.
The ultimate payoff, really, maximizing credibility.
How so?
Well, Anafet argues that when you combine all these things, the single strong declaration, the fast action, the visible community support, it allows the diaspora to present a truly unified Eritrean diaspora stance against aggression.
One voice, one position.
Exactly. And that single clear stance is what maximizes international credibility. Governments, international bodies, media, they respond better to clarity and unity, not 5 slightly different messages.
It's quite a detailed strategy, especially coming from a media network like ANFET. And they don't just stop at the declaration, they also advise on the how, right?
Yeah.
The operational side.
Yeah, so that's the crucial next step in their advice. You've got the intellectual anchor, the EPF declaration. Now, how do you make it work on the ground? Who do you partner with?
And their answer is,
Collaborate immediately and closely with the established diplomacy group.
okay, the diplomacy group. We hear that name. What exactly is it? Why is working with them so important according to ANFET?
So the diplomacy group isn't some new ad hoc committee. It's described as the existing coalition, the main body where key opposition diaspora organizations are already coordinated.
Already working together.
Yes. The sources say it already encompasses the majority of opposition diaspora organizations actively working together, specifically on diplomatic outreach and foreign policy stuff. It's kind of the operational hub that already exists.
So ANFET's logic is, don't build a parallel structure. Plug into the one that's functioning.
Precisely. Don't reinvent the wheel. Partnering the OEU's new task force initiative with this diplomacy group instantly gives it more reach, more capacity. It adds energy to the campaign.
And presumably coordinates the actual diplomatic work.
That's the most critical part. It ensures that all the diplomatic engagement is coordinated and amplified across all fronts. You avoid situations where different groups are approaching the same foreign ministry with slightly different asks or, stepping on each other's toes.
And ANFET presents this collaboration not as OEU losing control, but as leadership.
Yes, they frame it quite carefully as OEU exercising leadership in the most constructive sense, which, in this context, means guiding the community toward consensus and coordinated action.
So leadership through facilitation and leveraging existing strengths.
Exactly. The sources really emphasize that right now, effective leadership is about enabling that unity, not necessarily about imposing one group's dominance. It's about the bigger picture.
And this whole structure, EPF declaration plus diplomacy group collaboration, is designed to enable the task force to achieve its actual goals, its mandate.
Correct. That's the whole point of the structure, to make the task force effective in delivering what it's supposed to deliver.
All right, let's nail down that mandate. After the October 18th seminar gets this task force up and running, what are the specific things it absolutely must do? What are the core actions?
Okay, the sources list 4 specific mandates. Pretty clear deliverables. First, develop a coordinated campaign against the war threats. That's job 1.
Yeah, coordinated campaign.
Second, mobilize Eritrean communities worldwide. This is about diaspora mobilization on a massive scale.
Makes sense. And the next 2 likely involve that diplomacy group link.
Absolutely. Third mandate, engage international partners and media with a unified message. See how that connects directly back to adopting the EPF declaration?
Yes, the unified message part.
And fourth, ensure that Eritrean voices of peace, sovereignty, and justice are heard clearly and consistently.
Clearly and consistently. That phrase really underlines the whole strategy, doesn't it? Hard to be clear and consistent with multiple competing messages.
It ties it all together. That single platform, the EPF declaration, combined with the operational unity through the diplomacy group, it's all geared towards making sure those messages are heard clearly, consistently, and effectively, especially on the international stage.
So for you listening and trying to follow these complex political dynamics, the core ANFET strategy we've analyzed is essentially 2-pronged. First, adopt the EPF declaration for that foundational unity and speed.
Get everyone on the same page fast.
And second, immediately link up with the diplomacy group for operational muscle and coordinated action.
Leverage what's already working, amplify the effort.
What's the final takeaway here? The underlying message from the sources.
I think the sources convey a real sense of gravity. They stress that history won't judge this effort based on, how many statements were put out. It'll judge based on the actual unity and resolve shown when facing danger.
Actions, not just words.
Exactly. And that's why getting the organizational structure right, ensuring real coordination through steps like these, is presented as absolutely essential. It's about demonstrating that resolve in practice.
Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener, to ponder.
Hmm.
If the big goal here is maximizing international credibility and showing that unified resolve, what specific concrete action, beyond just agreeing on paper and forming a committee, would most powerfully signal that resolve to the outside world in, say, the first week after that October 18th seminar? What does demonstrated in practice actually look like? What's the first visible sign of unity the world should see?